Hi, everybody. It's me, Matty D. This is a shorter episode of the Financial Life Podcast, and today's episode is going to be talking about, I want to call it a belief, or those who are debt averse or adverse to debt, or they have I hate saying, the limiting belief that all debt is bad, and how that can screw you up in trying to not just live your life if you're working at a job, but if you're trying to go into business for yourself, you will be severely limited. And then also when it comes to your credit, how that will jack up your credit. I'm gonna get into that. So before I do, for those of you who are listening to this, if you would like help with anything, any of the challenge areas of your life around money, credit, if you would like some one-on-one coaching, reach out to me. Go to speakwithmatt.info. Again, speakwithmatt.info. No need to put any www. Speakwithmatt.info, and that will take you directly to my calendar link. And then you can select time, half an hour. Let's talk and see if hey, we're a good fit. We may not be. Let's be honest, okay? And also, this episode is sponsored by the Born to Risk book, the anthology. I think it's called Anthology. I'm one of the co-authors of the book. I'm chapter 39. So if you'd like a copy, reach out to me and make sure you get one. So let's talk about the mistake people make with debt. And it's not what you think. And I just mentioned it earlier. It's not the mistake of overspending. That's part of it. But there's a belief, and we're taught this growing up. Let me back up. If you were taught anything about credit, what were you taught about credit cards? Were you told, hey, use it responsibly, this is how you use it responsibly, and this is how you use it to build up your credit score? Or were you told to, like I was told, they're evil, bad, chop it up, don't use it, lock it away? If you were told the latter, which you most likely were, and you wonder why you can't work things out with credit cards, you can't see them, use them correctly, and all the other stuff, guess what? You have a belief on debt that debt's bad. And this is also reinforced by Dave Ramsey, because he's like, you need to pay all your debt collections, all this stuff, blah blah blah. And the reason being he preaches that is because, and I heard his backstories, because he was big in real estate years ago, and he was leveraged on someone. He was leveraging debt as you're supposed to in so many properties he had. And then I guess this happened. I don't remember when it happened, but I'm gonna guess this happened right at the financial crisis of 07, 08, where suddenly he had all these mortgages and loans on these properties, and the banks called. They wanted all the money back. He's like, shit, what do I do? And then I think went bankrupt, and that experience is like, nope, never again. I'm never gonna use debt. I'm gonna stay debt free. And so he reinforces that. Here's the problem. And I'm getting to where it comes to your credit. When you have to believe that all debt is bad, you limit yourself in how far you can go. Debt is part of the game. It's part of the financial system. It's how it works. The problem is we're taught it's evil. Don't take too much debt. Don't stay in debt forever. Here's how to pay it off and be financially free. You're debt free. You don't owe anyone anything. Well, here's the thing, folks. Here's the question. Elon Musk, whether you like him or not, Donald Trump, whether you like him or not, Jeff Bezos, we hate him, we like him or not, or think of any other super wealthy person in business. Do you really think that they, who are worth billions of dollars, have billions of dollars all sitting in a bank? Do you really believe that? They don't. That money, that net worth, a lot of it is tied up in assets, stock market, things like that. And when your money's tied up in these assets, you can't just liquidate. You can't get the money out real quickly, because if you need $100,000 and you got property, you got to sell it, put it up, all that stuff. That takes time. So, and if you only have so much cash in the bank, where are you using the money to then further grow your business, maybe pay some things, where the case may be? They're using debt or credit. Not all debt's bad. There's debt that's preferable. There's debt that you don't want to use. And if you do use this debt, you want to have a plan to service it, to get out of it and pay it off and be done with it. Okay? Now, when I see, and I bring this up because there's someone who I was looking to bring as a client because they have a family member, a stepson, that got into debt settlement, and they're paying all this money to this company month after month, and the balances are going down. And I try to explain to them, but yeah, when he's paying this debt set on the company, his credit will get trashed. The debt will not be paid off until everything's charged off, and at the end of it all, he's going to pay like almost 40 grand in total over 4 years to have bad credit, where no one will want to touch him. And then I was trying to explain to them that, like, with helping to repair his credit, it'll help to work on the debts. I'll have him work on the debt that he needs to pay off, and the debts that, like, if he does pay, it's not going to help him. Will help to dispute it to get deleted off the file. And the person didn't get there. Like, wait a minute. You mean you have this debt, you don't have to legally pay it? People, and that's the other thing too. People who are debt averse feel like, oh my God, I have to pay it. I have to pay it. If not, I'm like, they think that they're a bad person. So when you have this view that all debt's bad, and you're working a regular job, you won't go very far. You have to save. If you don't save up, then if you're open to making more money, that's going to require at some point to use your credit card or something to leverage other people's money, which is what credit is. Credit is a tool to then use that to bring in extra income, but that requires, in their view, to be in debt. Debt's bad. Can't do that. I got to stay liquid. It limits you in that capacity. 2, if you're like, hey, I want to go into business for myself and I want to grow my business, you're going to have to use a business loan. You're going to want to use business credit cards, because to always stay liquid in business is going to limit you and if not, keep you stuck. Using debt or using credit, they're different, okay, is something you need to use to then grow the business, get more money, hire more people, use marketing, whatever. That brings in more revenue for the business, which that means you can then service debt, pay it off, be done with it, or get a line of credit. That's what it's supposed to do. But if your view is debt is terrible, that's bad, you're going to screw it up, because it comes down to the unconscious belief where you're like, we're only able to handle so much money in debt. So let's jack this up because I know how to handle this. This is how your unconscious mind thinks. It goes, okay, if we grow the business and we take on more debt, we can't handle that because we may die. It's illogical thing. I'm making this real short because I only have so much time on this podcast. It thinks, oh my God, I can only take on so much. So I have to screw this up to get us back to the point where I can handle it. I know to handle the situation and we'll be safe. So you try and grow your business. You get in this debt. You get in too much debt. You jack it up to go back to where you were because unconsciously you're like, that's evil. We can only have so much, and all that stuff. It screws you up. Then what happens is too, when it comes to your personal credit is screwed up from that experience. And then you're like, shit, I have to get a credit card because 30% of your credit score is credit utilization. But again, there's the conflict. Debt is terrible. So then you're trying to get a credit card, and if you do get one, you're not going to get a high limit. You'll get a low limit because you jacked up your credit, and you're going to try to get more stuff, but you know you need to repair your credit and improve it, but you can't get it because your credit sucks. And also, you then have the unconscious belief and the belief that debt's terrible, and now you're stuck in this catch-22 or crappy ass situation that's got you there because debt is terrible. Doesn't make sense. It screws you up. And then people were like, well, how can I fix this? Then I try and tell them what they need to do, and I can see, feel, smell the resistance. And it's like, if you don't change this belief, you're going to screw yourself financially for the rest of your life. And it's not going to be fun. As a life coach going to be coming out, and if you're a person listening to this or watching this, you need to change it. Debt is not a terrible thing. It's a part of the system. It is a tool. It's a tool. That's what it is. You need to make a plan, have a strategy of how you're going to, if you get the money, if you get the credit or the loan, how you're going to make it work. If you can't take one yourself, don't take the loan, don't get the credit. Hire someone who's going to help you out. You'll be better off that way. Because people don't do that. People will take this money and they go, yeah, I'll be fine. You need to have a plan with it, okay? That's what you want to do. Now, as far as what is good debt, what's bad debt is when you're paying a shit ton of money and you have all this interest and you can't get out of it and it's not getting you anywhere. Credit cards become bad debt because we're not taught how to use a credit card properly. We think it's spending cash. That's not. When you have a credit card, whether it's a personal credit card or business credit card, that is the bank's money. Period, end of story. It's not spending cash. So when you take that credit, okay, and you then go to spend it irresponsibly, then you get into credit card debt and that screws you up. That's when credit becomes bad debt. A mortgage is not bad debt. A mortgage is credit. What happens is when you pay a mortgage, you're building equity within the house, and eventually when you pay off the mortgage, you own the house free and clear. In the meantime, you build equity in the house, which, if you use it as a tool that it is, you take some of that equity, not all of it. If you need to buy a new house because you have a growing family, that's a different story. However, if you just let it build up in there, you're wasting money that can be used to further achieve your financial goals, buy more property, do whatever. Again, do your research, hire someone, hire a coach. I don't care, buy a course. That way you'll use the equity, again, it's credit, to then fund more opportunities to bring in more cash, more assets. The money from those assets will bring in more cash flow to then service the debt or the home equity on the credit. That's what you're supposed to do, but we're not taught this stuff because debt's terrible, don't get too much debt, and oh my God, if you do, you have to declare bankruptcy. Here's the fun secret about bankruptcy that they don't tell you. Did you know that the wealthy, do you know what bankruptcy is for? It's to restructure debt. It's an asset. It's a tool. We're not taught that. Because that's what the wealthy do. You ever notice these companies declare bankruptcy and everyone goes, oh my God, they're going bankrupt. No, they're restructuring their debt to protect themselves so they can get it so that way they don't go to business, and also get it to a point that they can pay it off. We're not taught that. When we go into debt, oh my God, I spent all this money, credit card, blah, blah, blah. And then we just, chapter 7, discharge it all. And then we're like, this sucks. That's not what we're taught. And this is why, again, we people have this idea that all debt's terrible. It's not. Credit is good. Credit is money given to you by the bank. They charge you interest. And it's to be used to help build up your personal credit profile. Also, to help you, this is my opinion. You help you achieve your financial goals, especially if you're trying to make more money, build a business. I don't give a shit what it is. That's the point. And if you try and avoid the credit piece, especially in business, it's going to stop you so many times, or at best, severely limit you in what you can do in trying to grow your business. That's what it is. Bad debt is payday loans and that shit. Bad debt's also merchant cash advances. However, I'll say this. If, again, you come in with a plan and strategy before you take out those merchant cash advances for your business, you're fine. If you don't, and you can take one and another, or you get multiple ones, you screw yourself, you screw the cash of the business, and then you're desperate, and you're like, I take too many, what did I do? You don't want to do that. Here's a lesson of today's podcast. Whether you are using a credit card, business credit card, or a loan, have a plan, have a strategy, and just stick to that and you'll be okay. Because as I said, in this one possibly potential client of mine, they're going to be screwed because they're trying to pay off this debt's evil. Meanwhile, at the same time, they're trying to repair their credit and things, and they have to use the credit card, but that's evil. It doesn't work. When you have two conflicting beliefs within yourself, the stronger one is going to be the one that you're giving more attention to, and by attention I mean more emotional feeling attention to it. Also believe that's the one that's going to win. Unfortunately, we're programmed to, focus on what we don't want in hopes of getting what we do want. It doesn't work. So that's what it comes down to. You need to understand. Not all debt's terrible. Credit is a good thing when used properly. Our mortgage credit, pay loans are bad. If you're just taking a loan to pay off some things, you're not really using it to consolidate the debts you have and then start over, then it becomes bad debt. End of the day, debt is something terrible. It all depends on you and how you're using it. If you're using it just to spend money and act like you're rich, you'll go broke, you'll be in tons of debt, and it'll suck. If you're using it to further yourself financially, strategically, with a plan, responsibly, you'll be fine. So that's all I got for today. What are your thoughts on this? Please comment below. Where you're watching YouTube, you're listening on the podcast website itself. And that's it, folks. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.